Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. I think our OP, unfortunately, has to get a lawyer. Sounds like Grandma and Grandpa are holding him hostage so they can maintain access to the grandchild. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Parents who co-signed on first home don't want to sell. Pretty much self-explanatory. In 2018, my parents helped co-sign for a mortgage and ownership of a home and also helped out with the down payment. My fiancé and I at the time were extremely grateful and still are. We're now married and my parents are the reason we were able to obtain a home in this crazy market. They mentioned many times that if we wanted to sell the home, they'd be more than happy to help us relocate and that the down payment was a gift. All parents who are capable of helping their children in this way should do the same. 4 years go by, and now my wife, 31-year-old female, and myself, 26-year-old male, are looking to relocate cross-country with our 18-month-old son to find a more sustainable way of living. We've paid every mortgage payment and all other bills associated with the home. My wife is a skilled PL, and I recently obtained P-ing status, so finding new work should not be an issue. Since my parents co-signed at 0.05% each, I own 99.9%. They're required to sign documents to list the home, of which they're both refusing to do. They feel that we're going to cash out from the appreciation of our home and simply squander it all. I don't understand where they're getting this from, as my wife and I have always been very frugal and just want to set our son up for success in the long run. We're looking to sell and immediately purchase a new home, hopefully with a lower mortgage, as well as give them back their down payment with interest. Am I being a spoiled son and should just let this dream of moving cross-country go? Or should I fight for this? Truthfully, I've never asked for help with the mortgage. My wife and I were looking for homes within our budget, but my parents wanted us to have a nicer home. I graciously accepted the offer, but now I'm feeling like a fool as I didn't know it came with strings attached. And our second story. I demand that you fire this employee. Way back in the day, 2 years ago, I worked at Big Blue Department Store, yes that one, in the bakery department. It wasn't too difficult of a job, but we were hilariously understaffed, so doing 3 people's jobs was always fun. Now one day we had a customer, we'll call her Crazy Cake Lady, CCL for short, and she came in, ordered a cake to be picked up the next day. Nothing unusual. I take the order and file it in the cabinet to be done the next day by our cake decorator. I finish closing up the bakery and go home to sleep a few hours before my next shift that's oh so wonderfully scheduled 4 hours after I close. I come in and open up the bakery, still pretty much asleep since I got a whole 1 hour of sleep. 2 hours later, our cake decorator comes in and starts work on the day's orders. A few hours later, my manager comes in straight from her other job, cranky as hell, and starts doing inventory. Around the same time, CCL comes back to pick up her cake. The conversation goes a bit like this. CCL, hello, I'm here to pick up a cake order? Me, yes ma'am, can I have the name on the order? CCL, why the hell do you need to know that? Me, definitely not in the mood for this. We get quite a few orders per day, so we organize them by name. I need your name to know what cake to get for you. CCL, fine, but I shouldn't have to give you this information. You could steal my identity. My name is... insert name. Me. Are you effing kidding me? All right, I'll go grab your order right away. I walk off to the cooler to grab CCL's order, except it's not there. Me. Ma'am, I'm afraid your order isn't ready yet. We do require 24-hour notice on our cake orders to ensure that you get your order on time. CCL. What do you mean it isn't done yet? I ordered it last night. I want it now. Me. Don't flip out. Don't flip out. Well, ma'am, our cake decorator is out to lunch, but I can pull the order form and have her make it as soon as she returns. CCL. Are you effing deaf? I said now. I demand to speak to your manager. Me. This ought to be interesting. Right away, ma'am. I'll go get her. I walk out onto the sales floor and get my manager. Manager. What seems to be the problem, ma'am? CCL. I ordered a cake last night and it's not done. I demand to know where it is. Manager. Let me check one more time to see if it's ready. Can I have your name? CCL. This again? Are you people this effing stupid? It's insert name. Manager goes off to check on the elusive pastry that'll get this woman out of our sight. Manager, it's not ready yet, ma'am. I'll pull the cake order and get right to work on it. Manager looks through the filled cake orders, which we later found out that the upper management decided to clean up and finds that it isn't there. Oh, joy. Manager, I don't see your order in here, ma'am. Are you sure that you ordered it at this location? CCL, yes, I'm sure. This effing idiot took my order, angrily pointing her finger at me. I demand he be fired this instant for losing my cake order. Manager, pardon me? CCL, you heard me, fire him. Manager, this man's been working in this bakery for quite some time. I'm sure he didn't intentionally do anything wrong. Mistakes happen. Maybe it got lost. I'll still remake it right now if you'd like. CCL, I needed it 20 minutes ago. Where the hell is it, and why is he not fired yet? Manager sighs deeply. Listen, you either let me remake your damn cake or get the hell out of my bakery. If you continue to harass my staff, I'll have you escorted out of the store. Now, do you want the cake or not? CCL, I want him fired! She drug out the word fired for an impressive amount of time. Manager, all right, ma'am, I understand. I'll be calling security over to escort you out shortly. Have a nice day. Insert a massive, laughably fake grin. As for what happened next, she stormed out, screaming about threatening to call corporate on us. Nothing happened. My manager and I expressed our distaste for her with some colorful language, had a laugh over it, and found out that upper management decided to throw out old order forms, which netted us a few more unhappy customers. I quit about a month after this event. That place seemed to breed a special kind of customer that I simply cannot deal with without heavy use of sarcasm and colorful language. I've never understood how firing someone would make a difference in these types of things. Did she feel that by demanding an employee sacrifice, her cake would magically be ready? And our next story. The Crazy Bird Lady. Many years ago, I worked at a humane society. I mainly help people either adopt or give up their animals. After working there for 10 years, you develop a tough skin. I always tried to help people whenever I was able. So one day, this lady came in with 2 cockatiels in a medium-sized cage. She told me her sob story about how she just got to town and had nowhere to keep the bird, but she would have a place within 2 weeks. Well, being the person I am, I told her I'd be willing to let them live in my office at the shelter for 2 weeks free of charge. Had her sign some legal papers to cover my own butt. First red flag. She only fed them crackers. No seeds, no vegetables, no fruit, just crackers. How these birds were still alive is beyond me. Then she asked for a ride into town. Well, at this point, I was already in for a penny, so I drove 20 minutes out of my way on my lunch break to drop her off at a random corner in the city. 2 months go by, not a word from her. One day, she shows up asking how they were doing. I, of course, had started them on a proper diet, which they loved. She sees the seeds and fruit in their cage and freaks out on me. I explain while I'm caring for them, I will feed them how I see fit. The crackers she gave me were sitting there, and she started eating them, all the while complaining that they were stale. Well, no crap, lady, they're over 2 months old. She said it'd be another week, and she'll be back. Yeah, right. After another 3 months, I finally gave up on her and adopted them out to a wonderful family. 2 years later, she walks into the shelter to have a meeting with the executive director, my boss, to complain how I treated her and her birds and wanted me fired. LOL, my boss just told her to leave. That was the last time I fell for a sob story. And our last story. I refuse to sign a document my late dad's wife is pressuring me to. My father passed away 3 years ago from lung cancer, which spread to his brain toward the end. It was an awful time for us, and I miss him terribly. My mom died when I was 15, and when she died, her life insurance/death in service benefit paid out, and it paid off the rest of the mortgage on the house. Due to my dad being, at that time, an aggressive alcoholic, I moved out when I was 16. We still maintained a rocky relationship, and the later years were much better, and we were very close. I loved him so much despite the bad stuff. A couple of years later, he met his girlfriend. Eventually, they got married around 2015. I never totally got on with her. Nothing in common and hard to relate with, but my dad was happy and we had a polite relationship as I wanted my dad to have a companion. I've never considered her a stepmom. Anyway, after he died, I found out that his will had been changed 2 weeks before he passed, whilst he had a large brain tumor, without my knowledge. I'm one of the executors, so was quite surprised I wasn't told, which meant the sale of my parents' home would go from being split 3 ways to her getting half and my brother and I the other half to split. We were not happy with how this went down, but we've accepted the change to the will and moved on. She's now decided she wants to sell because she wants to move. She mentioned she wants to get some work done on the house to increase the sale price, and I emailed her saying not to spend much as it wasn't worth it and was unnecessary. She invited me over a few weeks ago to see the work and to give me some documents. When I got home, I looked at the document she wanted me to sign, agreeing to deduct nearly £16,000 from the sale of the house to pay herself back for the work. Some of it was done years ago, and clearly for her living comfort, and other paperwork only gave quotes for work, not actual receipts or invoices. The terms of the will are that she could live there until her death, but she's responsible for the upkeep and maintenance as well as bills. She's lived there 14 years rent-free with my dad and 3 years without him. My friends, family, and I think this is an absolute piss take to ask us for the money, considering it's our family home, which not only did both of our parents have to die for her to get, but is our only inheritance from our parents. She's now pressuring me to agree to this, and I'm not happy I'm being bullied by her to sign. She wrote the document, not a solicitor, and no solicitor has been involved from her end about this. She's now told me she will withdraw the property from the market if I don't agree, which honestly, even though I'm struggling financially and need to pay off debt, I don't care about. Because if she lived there until she died, then the house will just go to me and my brother, and her adult kids won't benefit from my parents. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.